They're buying
Hang on, was
multi-packs. They're buying Myconites and they hate the cherry flavors. They're like, I don't want the cherry flavor. I'm just gonna chuck all the cherry Myconites out my packet. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new episode of the HGO podcast. One of your hosts today, Ethan, and joining me, as always, are my good friends Kyle.
Hello.
And Hunter. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing just swell.
It's nice to have you back, Kyle. Welcome back.
Yeah. Wasn't on last week. Had some family stuff come up, but I'm glad to see that Jack was able to show up, hold down my position for me.
He showed up like 12 minutes before we started recording and was like, I'm
incredible.
in. And I was like, oh, this is going to be great. Nothing's going to go wrong in the slightest. And, it was an episode.
If you lose someone, you got to replace them with someone of like equal or greater value. So I'm glad that Jack was able to be around, take my spot.
Yeah, don't sell yourself too short, Kyle. Let me just say, you have about 150, 180, 190 episodes on him. So, don't sell yourself short. You've got plenty of experience. And Jack just, will stumble his way into making a Smash 4 reference and moaning about Zelda. But, it's all fun. It was a good episode last week. If you haven't, go check it out. It was a good time. This week, things are different in the game. It feels like everything's just gone to crap. Not only has my camera angle changed, which if I do that, the light just go right. That's new, great. This is working great.
Our arm movements just cast shadows on your face and stuff. Yeah,
mine does. If that's just what I do now apparently. But the game industry.
Stop talking with your hands.
It's been, I'm just gonna have to stop doing all this, which is not good for podcasting anyway, because the amount of times I hit my mic during this damn show is unreal anyway. But the video game industry is in a bit of a bad state at the moment. So we've kind of put a pause. We've been like this for like the past, I'd like to say 8-9 months, where we're not going to talk about game news or topics and stuff like this if we don't have the knowledge and we don't care, because we've done so many episodes where we've talked about people leaving companies, people doing this, or acquisitions, good or bad. Spoiler alert, we were right. They were bad.
They're bad.
Yeah, definitely.
I thought about
Still
leaving
bad.
a comment at one on the video from 3 years ago.
And go, a bit of an update. Not good, guys. Not good.
They are bad.
I'm from the future. Not good, bros.
Oopsie doopsie. But yeah, we've struggled the line. We've kind of tried to stay away from talking about the news too much, but there's been so much news in the past week and a half that it's kind of hard to not talk about it, especially when no one's playing Hades 2, so we don't have something to jump off of. So we're just going to talk about the elephant in the room. We're going to talk about all the Xbox drama and all that, the studio closures, all that jazz. We're going to talk about PlayStation with the Helldivers, the Ghost of Tsushima, all of that jazz. And if we have time, we might just have a little casual discussion about Nintendo and their little quirky little avenue that they're walking down at the moment. So plenty to talk about, and then I'm sure we'll be back next week to the stupid topics nobody cares about. So that's the plan, guys. That's the plan. But yeah. If you're new here, welcome to the HGO podcast. We're here every Monday around 5 p.m. UK time, 12 p.m. Eastern on podcast services everywhere, and on youtube.com/hotgamers only. If you haven't already, remember Cal's got that article up on the website that you can go and check on at hotgamersonly.com. The reviews are up from games. We do not have a Hades 2 review. None of us are playing Hades 2. I feel like that's the big news that we have to get out right now. None of us are playing Hades 2. Hunter's waiting for 1.0. Cal will probably wait for console. And I am 100% just don't have the space for it right now, where I'm like, I want to play it. And there's a part of my little gamer brain that's like, gotta play it now, get in. And I'm like, I'm trying to restrain myself. So at the moment, none of us are playing Hades 2. But hey, it's apparently pretty good. And if you're into early access, you can go check that out. Also, there's a ton of good indie games that came out this week that we haven't had time to discuss.
Dude, there was like a shotgun of sick stuff this week. Like Crow Country?
Crow Country,
really cool.
Animal Well, Little Kitty Big City. There's been a load of really cool indie games that came out last Friday on top of Hades 2. And I think the best news about that is they've all managed to find an audience and succeed. in the
Yeah,
same
it's
week
real
that Hades,
cool.
because that must have been. I honestly to God, if you had a game releasing on Friday and you find out Hades released on the Monday, you'd be shitting yourself. So I'm really happy that all of them managed to find an audience and
The
have done well.
the devs of the roguelike Prince of Persia game was like, hey guys, we'll see you in a little while.
Our game's kind of similar.
we'll
We're gonna
let y'all
push
have your
it.
fun
We're gonna push it
first.
a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I was like, respect.
Which is fully
That's
yeah.
funny.
I'd be tempted to do the exact same thing if I'd been working on a game for
Yeah.
years and then Hades 2 shadow drops. I think it's the issue with shadow drops is, and don't get me wrong, Supergiant, fantastic studio, have all the right in the world to do a shadow drop in the same way that I'm sure the Silksong people will do a shadow drop when they shadow drop the game in 2046. But, you know, it's like, it does suck because I feel like every indie game under the sun for the past 3 years has been like, right, avoid Hades 2, avoid Hollow Knight Silksong, and then it's just bang, and you're just like, no, what am I gonna do? Like, it seems like a bit of a crisis situation. But hey, people have found their audience, and it seems to be doing really well. I don't know. Animal Well seems interesting. I might check it out because it's free on PS Extra. So who knows?
Yeah, I might check it out when I finish Another Crab's Treasure here in probably the next day or two.
Yeah. Some good games coming out, so go check those out if you haven't already. Shall we dive into it? Let's start with...
That was the good news on Monday, and then it just football spiked into the nether realm after that.
Let's talk about the most recent thing.
Honestly.
Sony has made some boo-boos. We'll talk about those later because they're smaller boo-boos and also they're not as important, really, in the grand scheme of things. So let's talk about the Xbox layoffs. When was this announced? Tuesday? I feel like, was it Tuesday?
Tuesday,
Yeah.
yes.
Xbox announced that they were closing 4 studios. Arcane Austin, Tango Gameworks, Arcane Austin, the developers of Prey, and more recently Redfall. Tango Gameworks, the developers of The Evil Within, and Hi-Fi Rush. And then there were 2 smaller studios. One that I believe was doing support work for the Elder Scrolls Online, have basically just been consolidated into the Elder Scrolls Online team at ZeniMax. And the 4th one, I can't remember the name. Can someone look up the 4th name? I just know that they were a mobile
Alpha Dog
developer.
Games.
Sorry, say that again, Cal.
Alpha Dog Games.
Alpha Dog Games, who were making they made like a Doom. They were like a mobile dev for Bethesda essentially. They were making a Doom mobile. They made a Doom mobile game. So all 4 of those studios got shut down and you know it's good news when Jason Schreier is the one that gets the scoop, and then Xbox makes 0 comment on it. And I just want to state that apart from leaks and things that we've heard about Phil Spencer and Matt Booty and Sarah Bond, and that awful Sarah Bond interview, which if you haven't seen, don't bother. They have not said a thing. There's still, how many days later? 5 days later coming on, 4 days later, no comment from Xbox whatsoever about this, other than the black boxes of death on the Twitter pages of the studios that are being shut down.
Yeah.
We've had, for the past year, redundancies after redundancies, studio closures, a mass amount of layoffs. There's been over 10,000 in the past year and a bit alone, right? And I think we're already on track this year to do more than the 9,000 jobs that we lost last year. And I think we're already getting to that point, and it's only May, so that's good.
Yeah, in half the time. It's insane.
But I think this really kicks the hornet's nest. Like, I've not seen, we've had studio closures, we've had mass layoffs at big companies like Sony, but I don't think I've ever seen a reaction from people as passionate as this one. Like, I don't know what your guys' take of this was, but I think that it's like, Xbox has been on rocky footing, but you say you're killing Tango Gameworks, and I feel like you have just literally, that's the straw that broke the camel's back, and everybody's on a rampage.
Yeah, that was loose footing, and then now they've been spiked back into... I don't think that sentiment around Xbox has been this bad since they revealed the Xbox One. It's potentially worse.
I mean, this isn't even talking about how insiders have now said that obviously this was just a Bethesda ZeniMax focused amount of layoffs. It's come out in the past 24 hours as of recording this that it is expected in July for there to be an Xbox Game Studios equivalent of this with layoffs. which
Oh boy.
we're going to talk about that later, because I think there are plenty of studios that are actually in danger here on the game studios side as well. So to hear that confirmation now, kind of scary, especially for who we'll get into later, Ninja Theory, who is literally about to release a game in the next 2 weeks. Kind of concerning. So let's talk about it, man. Like, I mean, we might as well start with the biggest to us as, you know, fans of Hi-Fi Rush. Tango Gameworks shut down. This genuinely ruined my day. Like, I don't know about you guys,
No.
but I went onto Twitter. I was having a shit day, and I was like, let me just go onto Twitter. Let me see what's happening. And then I see that Tango Gameworks is shut down, and I'm like, I'm ready to kill someone. Like, I was like, I'm angry.
Legit. I was like, what? To just gift Xbox the best, you know, first party game they've ever had, because it is. Suck it, Halo. It's the best first party game they've ever had, and then their reward is being closed. That's the worst.
It's really bad. I mean, there was a comment from Matt Booty the following day, which I thought was so insensitive and so fucking Xbox, it was unreal, where they were saying that they needed to cut funds to scale back and make smaller critically acclaimed games, shutting down Tango Gameworks, who just made a small critically acclaimed game called Hi-Fi Rush, which I think is absolutely hilarious.
Like,
I mean,
how tone deaf could you be?
I mean, the amount of backtracking and backpedaling and the amount of false information that's been out there. You know, Aaron Greenberg has an infamous tweet now where it's like Hi-Fi Rush surpassed all expectations on every metric, and now they're saying that the studio was closed because it didn't meet internal goals. And it's like, okay, so were you lying then, or are you lying now to try and save face? Where's the line here? Where are we going with this? And like I say, Hunter, you're 100% right, where it's like, I think Hi-Fi Rush is Xbox's best exclusive in a decade, at least. Minimum. It is the best Xbox exclusive in a decade. And from reports, we know that they were in the middle of pitching, and they were in the middle of pitching Hi-Fi Rush 2. A game we will never get now, which is
stupid. Like, Chai was set up to be, like, you know, a character for your, you know, umbrella of games that people actually like.
100%.
Like, for the past decade, it's been Master Chief, buff generic soldier man from Gears, and Carr have been your most recognizable characters, Xbox.
100%. And now it's like, again, it's like there's that big. Xbox has always had a massive gap in their portfolio. Let's ignore the fact that they have been really shit at releasing video games for the past 10 years. Let's just ignore that fact for a second here. But they've always had a gap in their portfolio of when you think of Xbox, what do you think of? You think of Forza, you think of Halo, you think of Gears of War, and that is it. You think of manly shooters and car races. That is all you think of, right? Because yes, they have Minecraft, but Minecraft has always been multi-platform and will always remain multi-platform. It's always had that separate kind of separation, really, where it's like you don't classify that as a Microsoft exclusive. You buy Double Fine, you buy Bethesda, you buy Tango Gameworks, you start getting these quirky exclusives like Pentiment, like Psychonauts 2, like Hi-Fi Rush, that start to break down these barriers and go, oh, Xbox is actually investing in stuff that isn't just dude shooters and car games. This is cool. They're making stuff that's interesting. Or at least continuing to continue in development on them after acquiring them, because half these games were being made beforehand regardless, right? So to then have games like Psychonauts 2, like Hi-Fi Rush, like Pentiment be critically acclaimed, beloved things, and then just have them 1 year later go, oh, yeah, fuck it. Shut down Tango. Shut them down.
It's super annoying because, like, it wasn't, obviously I don't think that Tango Gameworks, whatever they did, was really relevant to their plan when they purchased Bethesda.
No.
But that doesn't mean they shouldn't have, you know, pivoted when they got the best exclusive game they've ever been given.
I mean, and let's be clear here, right? This was a Microsoft told Xbox that they need to cut slack. They need to cut slack at Bethesda. So then Xbox, Matt Booty, Sarah Bond, Phil Spencer told the heads over at Bethesda they needed to cut slack, and it's Bethesda that made this call, right? So that's the hierarchy here. This wasn't Phil Spencer going, get Tango Gameworks out of my fucking house right now. It was more of ZeniMax was told they needed to cut staff, and ZeniMax thought, bright idea, let's destroy the studio's pitching instead of cutting from people who are actually making games at the moment. Which is a stupid idea, because you literally, just like I say, Redfall literally was Arcane Austin's one miss in a bunch of hits that they've had, and Tango Gameworks literally just made the best exclusive that Xbox has ever had in like the past decade. And you just cut them loose. And I think the silence on this whole issue is really damning here. Like, I don't know. Like I say, I don't know how much Sarah Bond, I don't know how much Matt Booty, I don't know how much Phil Spencer were actually involved in this decision, right? They could be fully in on this decision. They could not be in on this decision. But did nobody actually have a fucking thought in their mind when someone said to them, so our plan is to shut the studio down that just gave you your Game Award nominated video game last year.
They won a couple of them.
Yeah. We're going to shut that one down. And everyone was like, sounds good, mate. Oh, great idea.
That game that people were still talking about a year later, like, I don't know.
They just released on PS5 less than a month
just
ago.
Released on, you know, I'm sure if I like talked to a more average player of video games, I'd probably hear more people talk about Starfield. But in general, I've heard more conversation about Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah,
but it really angers me. Like I say, going to Arcane Austin, right? They made Redfall. Was Redfall bad? Yes. Was Redfall the fault of Arcane Austin? No, because this was they were told to make a live service game. They were given too fucking little time to actually make it, and Xbox shoved it out the door, and it got a terrible score. And this is what happens. Again, sounds like they were pitching a return to like their roots with a more single player immersive sim a la Dishonored, right? Like that's what they seem to have been going back to. And again, never gonna happen now. Wow, that's cool. Immersive sims. Don't worry though, the other half of Arcane's fine because they're making Blade, guys, so it's fine. They're fine until the Marvel contract runs out, and if it's successful or not. They're fine for 3 years. Don't worry, guys.
Yeah, they've got Blade and Deathloop to fall back on. They're fine.
Yeah.
And it's just like I'm so fucking angry, and it's like there's so many people you can blame. You can blame Phil Spencer. You can blame Sarah Bond and Matt Booty, who I really recommend. I know I've said it a lot this year. I've said it a lot recently. I cannot implore you. Now is the chance. Go and watch the Psychodyssey documentary episode about Microsoft acquiring Double Fine. Please go. It's such a great look. And not only that, they have footage of the meeting that Matt Booty had, the first one with Double Fine, where he goes in and tries to reassure them that nothing's going to change. And he says all the wrong things and everything goes to hell. And you just go and watch that video. It's so eye-opening watching that. And watching it now, I'm like, oh God. Like, people were making jokes and going like, oh yeah. My favorite one is one of the producers of Psychonauts 2 was like, yeah, it's all great when Matt and Phil come around and are all smiling, all nice, but when Dan from accounting comes in, that's when you should be scared, because it's like that's when you're fucked. And it's like, just hearing these conversations, and then literally, I was watching this like 3 months ago going, you know, funny joke, and now I'm sitting here going, not a joke, this is really fucking concerning.
No, it's legit.
Yeah.
That's...
It's absolutely damning. I don't know what Xbox can do at this point. I think Game Pass is a fucking burden, and I just
that's like they made Game Pass was something that they did, you know, in the middle of the last generation, kind of seemingly out of desperation because they were losing.
Kind of, but it also makes. Here's the thing, right? Is in a stupid way, it makes sense. You look at the year is 2016, 2017, 2018. You look at Netflix, you look at Amazon Prime, you look that everybody's trying to build these streaming services, and Microsoft has the idea of, what if we make that first? We have the opportunity here to make something that actually attach, because PS Now was shit, right? So it's like something that attaches to this first. All our games day one, get people in on a subscription. It's what people have realized is now in 2024, there is no growth in subscription services. You reach your maximum threshold and that's it. It came out this month that annually there has been less than a 1% increase in revenue from PS Plus and Xbox Game Pass. There is literally, they have hit the cap. They have already hit the cap.
Yeah, and
you're just teaching, you've taught Xbox people to not buy video games. I have not. I own an Xbox Series X. I have not, in the 2 years of owning an Xbox, bought a video game for Xbox. I haven't. The only games slight lie, I bought the Yakuza games on a heavy discounted sale for $3 because I didn't want to I just wanted to own them. Like, that was it. I have not bought a full-priced Xbox release ever since owning a Series X. I have not bought anything from Xbox. I just go, oh, it's on Game Pass. I'll just buy a month of Game Pass because for $12, $15, whatever it is now, I can go and play Starfield. I can go and play Indiana Jones. I can go and play Hellblade, and then I can cancel it and fuck off again. Like, there's no money in it. It's fucked. Like, I understand where Sony's at with it, where they have their but they don't release their games straight away because they know that it will kill the sales of God of War or Horizon if you just chuck it in the collection straight away. I think they noticed it with Horizon. They released Forbidden West, 8 months after launch or something like that onto PS Plus. They did it quite quickly for Forbidden West. And sales just plummeted for Forbidden West. I think they realized, they're like, you can't do that. That's not a good idea.
Like, God of War did not follow Horizon after that.
And neither has anything else, really. Ratchet and Clank did, but all of these were years later, right? Like a year and a half, 2 years later, once the games are heavily discounted. And it's like, Hi-Fi Rush, critically beloved, 3 million players on Game Pass. It has made some sales. We're unsure if it's actually made its money back or not. But your Xbox, you are owned by the biggest company in the world. Yeah, you have games like Halo and this little tiny indie game that you've just bought called Call of Duty that will always make you profit and will always be a big money item, right? And you're looking at Hi-Fi Rush, a game that has finally given you positive press for the first time in 5 years. And you shut it down? Sony had this all the time, right? They had their journeys, right? They had their, smaller games that would not necessarily be big budget sales wise, right? It's like, but they were critically beloved, and they make their money back in different ways, in good press, in getting people's eyes to it. People going, oh, I need to go and get an Xbox to play Hi-Fi Rush because that's a great game that I can't play anywhere else, right? And again, it's just like, fuck it off, bro. Fuck it off. Get it out of the way. Didn't do enough numbers for Game Pass.
Yeah, either didn't do enough numbers for Game Pass, or counterintuitively, it didn't sell wholesale enough. Which, how is it going to do that when
Game Pass
when it's on Game Pass?
It creates
it's like the
sales
stupid
suicide.
illusion of choice meme.
No, because that's the thing is, it's like, I didn't realize that Ubisoft does this with Ubisoft Plus, right? So now, when Assassin's Creed Red comes out later this year, why the fuck would I pay full price for Assassin's Creed Red when I can pay 15 quid, download Assassin's Creed Red for a month, play it because the Assassin's Creeds take that long, and then unsubscribe, right? For single player games, it makes absolutely zero sense to have a subscription model, because here's the thing, Netflix, Disney Plus, they can make a TV show, right? You look at Disney and they've gone, here you go, here's this stupid Star Wars show that's going to run for a month. And you're like, okay, cool, I'll unsubscribe now. And they're like, no, don't unsubscribe, here's a crappy Marvel show. And you're like, okay, I guess I want to watch that. I'll keep churning. Next they'll release Doctor Who, next they'll release whatever. And it's like, they can keep that cycle going so that you can go, okay, there's something every month that I want to play, that I want to watch. So I'll keep that churn going. For for video games, that's not fucking feasible. You can't have an exclusive come out every month to keep people on the line. You just can't. Yeah. Games take too long to make.
That's not how it will work. And if it does, you see, it's always been a question for the past several years now. Where is the money? Where's the money going with Game Pass? And I don't know, how it was obvious, it doesn't make sense that it would be profitable.
No, and I don't think it is profitable, or else things like Hi-Fi Rush wouldn't be getting the chop right now, And I think the thing that annoys me, right, is Game Pass has taught people to not buy games. I'll put my hand up, I'm the first one in line, right? First one in line. Except I have bought Hi-Fi Rush twice now, because not only did I buy it on PlayStation when it came out, I've just noticed it's in the Humble Choice subscription this month, ironically. So for $9, you can get it on Steam and Yakuza 7 at the same time for the same, all for $9. Oh, so I was straight away on that. I'm like, because here's the thing, guys.
Well, that'll keep you busy.
Well, I was like, what happens to Hi-Fi now? It's got licensed songs in it. Right. There's no reason for them to renew the contract because they're never going to make a sequel or anything like that. That game's going to get delisted. At some point now. It's not like Redfall, right? Where it's there's licenses behind that. And if there was a sequel to Hi-Fi Rush coming out, it makes sense to renew them. Now it doesn't. Mm-hmm. That limited run release we were
It's very lucky that that's been selected for that, assuming
Hunter,
that it's
here's
still
my question
happening.
now. Is it happening?
I don't know.
Right.
If it's already on the table, I don't know why you...
But maybe they... Inside baseball here, Hunter. Is this the reason why Hi-Fi Rush has been taking so long in terms of physical? Because all of the other two got instantly announced and released. Grounded and Pentiment were literally month by month, and now we're radio silent on Hi-Fi Rush.
That is a good point.
Are we going to get a physical copy of Hi-Fi Rush now?
Oh, man. That's so annoying.
Yeah. When one day it'll be delisted. It'll be lost media. This is the one time I'm praying that Limited Run actually releases this fucking product because we kind of need it, right? And it's just it annoys me and it scares me. We can talk a little bit about other studios that we should be scared for at the moment, but it really scares me because Xbox is in a real state right now where it's small games aren't feasible for Game Pass. Indies aren't feasible for Game Pass because I've heard countless times that
a bunch of indie people just skip it
now because you don't get money, because you don't get that much money from Game Pass anymore, because the Game Pass deals, similar to YouTube and Twitch streaming contracts, have gone down. And again, plays don't convert to actual sales. People just play it and dump it and move on.
Right.
So it's so there's no smaller games. Is Xbox going all in with their big games? Because that doesn't seem sustainable to me anymore. Because here's the thing is, I don't understand. To this point, I'm I can kind of understand. I can understand games like Hellblade. I can understand games like Sea of Thieves or Grounded or stuff like Minecraft, which are games as a service. You'll constantly want to keep playing those because they constantly keep getting updated. Trickle in. They're great for a subscription service. Starfield was a big one where I'm I don't know how this is going to play out. Who actually bought Starfield? Other than people on Steam. On an Xbox point of view, I don't know anybody that bought Starfield. The people that I knew who played Starfield on Xbox played it via Xbox Game Pass.
Didn't they do a
Do you seppuku Call of Duty? Do you do that to Call of Duty? Because Call of Duty is a game that will print money. Are you going to burn that bridge just for the sake of trying to make what seems to be a failing thing work? Is it worth putting Call of Duty on Game Pass? I don't think it is. No, you basically just wave goodbye to every sale on Xbox.
If I were... the smarter thing would definitely be to just make the people buy it, because the Call of Duty audience has proven... year after year, regardless of quality, that they'll do it.
And don't get me wrong, back catalogue is different, right? Older Call of Duties, shove them all on there, because like FIFA, right, they're dead to us after a year. You can just chuck them on, no one cares.
You can shotgun all the ones that people actually liked.
And thanks to Xbox backwards compatibility, you can get Black Ops 1, 2, 3, you can get the whole lineage, which is pretty great. That's a good reason. But like Black Ops 6, whatever the stupid Call of Duty game's called later this year, would you really put that day one just to? And what's that going to do to sales? And who's going to get impacted by that? Like it's just kind of stupid. Consolidation is terrible, guys. We've been saying it before. I will toot the horn again. If this doesn't convince you that you should not be playing these games what if Xbox bought Sega, or what if PlayStation bought Square Enix? If this hasn't convinced you to
want
not
anyone to
stop
buy
these fucking
anything,
games,
honestly.
Yeah.
It's a terrible idea. It's just garbage.
Like anytime that anyone brings up a studio that I like being purchased, I'm like, I want to be like, no, keep your hands off.
Yeah, stay away. With a 10-foot pole.
Because, like, I don't know. That's one of the, like, last year when Mikami left, it felt like he could do that because Hi-Fi Rush was being received well and he wanted to leave at that point.
That's what he said. He was like, they were ready.
Yeah.
They were ready to make their own stuff. They didn't need him anymore.
So it sucks that it didn't matter.
I saw his tweet and I was really sad. He was just like, Tango gone. I'm like, no, Shinji.
I was like, oh, yeah, it was like Tango closed. Sad, which, you know, most true you could ever be.
It just makes me laugh.
Like, that sucks because, like, he's followed the same kind of methodology throughout his whole career where he'll, like, make the first thing and basically teach the people he's working with how it works.
What to do
the rest of the time, and then rinse and repeat.
Project.
Like, the same thing happened, like, Resident Evil, he did the first one, Kamiya did 2, and then Kamiya went on to make Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
And then so on and so forth. And it's super annoying.
And again,
that they've just shot his baby like this.
Again, what is Xbox's motive? Remember a couple of years ago? Oh, we really want to get a foothold in Japan. Oh, we're gonna put all this
shut
effort.
Their Japanese studio.
Their only Japanese studio.
Yeah.
Incredible.
What's the point? Why are you paying for Atlas marketing rights? Why are you doing that? Let's be real here. Why are you doing that? You just shut your only Xbox Japan studio down. You just have, right? Square barely wants anything to fucking do with you. You are paying for the Atlas rights right now, which, let's be honest here, I don't know about numbers, but I don't see that going on for much longer, to be honest. I think when that license expires, it's probably going to expire, because from everybody that I've seen, everyone just buys it on Steam and PlayStation regardless. I don't see anybody booting up the Xbox app on Windows to play Persona 3. I haven't seen that happen.
Yeah.
I just don't understand. There's so much stuff. There's so much hyperbole that Xbox spews. That we're your friend mentality. That we're gamers, guys. We love playing games. Look at me. My name's Phil Spencer. I love playing Fallout 76. Ignore the fact that someone just nuked my base because what happened this week, which is the funniest fucking story of the week, to be honest. But again, everyone just takes Phil at his word.
Deserved.
Yeah, everyone takes Phil at his word, and I'm sure Phil could be the nicest person on the planet, right? But the whole I'm your friend shtick, the whole, like, when we're talking about releasing 4 games on other platforms, let's not just make a statement, guys. Let's do a podcast where we have a host who goes, well, Xbox is the best place to play, Phil, but why are we doing this? And then they talk like this, like they're like, oh, we're your pals, right? But we're going to release these 4 games on other places.
To an hour and a half when they got the information out of the way in, like, 10 minutes, and then just talked nonsense corporate speak for
gobbledygook and all the smiles. Here's the thing, right?
Stupid.
Didn't like Jim Ryan. He's also a dickhead. He closed.
At least I hate him honestly.
He also closed studios. Let's not forget that when he went on his retirement home tour and went to Manchester studio and then just shut it down the following week, you know?
Oh god. Took pictures with them and everything. I hate that guy.
He's also an arsehole. But here's the thing is, he's not coming out and doing his good guy spiel. He doesn't come out wearing a Crash Bandicoot shirt and going, hey guys, I love Crash Bandicoot, and then shooting Vicarious Visions on the way out, right? He's not doing that. Like, you go all I don't like this middle ground, right? I don't like it. Either go all in on your corporate ghoulishness or don't. because no one takes accountability at Xbox. It's not
Yeah,
been a good decade for Xbox. Even since Phil has taken over, nothing's changed. Nothing good has really happened for
not really.
Xbox, really. Like,
Yeah, like some people started to like them more because of Game Pass. And now it's gonna change because they're gonna have to either kill Game Pass or boost the price so much that people hate them.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, let's talk about that. I assume that Xbox Game Pass will go up in price soon. I expect that.
Most likely.
I think they're going to probably
what's it
try
at
to
now?
increase the price a couple more times and then realize that it's not working and kill it.
This is what I think. I think they're going to try and increase the price. I then think they are going to backtrack on day one on Game Pass. I think that's the thing that they'll back off on. I think they'll go, okay, guys, we can't justify it anymore.
Makes sense.
We're going to keep Game Pass and games go in like 6 months later, but no more day one. And then Xbox fans some will buy games, and then some of them will learn, I can wait 6 months.
There's no games.
I can wait 6 months. Yeah.
Right. I waited a year to play Hi-Fi Rush because I didn't have a console to play it on.
Yeah, and that's completely
no big deal.
justified. Yeah. But like, let's talk about the Xbox. Like I say, it looks like in July there's going to be more closures, and let's be real here. We'll get to PlayStation in a bit. Xbox aren't the only people on in the industry at the moment who are experiencing layoffs, who are doing all this stuff. It's happening everywhere. I'd also like to say, not every company in the world is owned by Microsoft, who has got $60 bajillion in profit this year or whatever, 25% increases in profit every year. Just saying, like, you know.
Literally became the most profitable company in the world this year.
Yeah.
12 hours before they laid off however many people that was, 1,900.
1,900 people at Activision Blizzard, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, you've had Activision Blizzard layoffs this year. Toys for Bob escaped the fucking mines and went independent, which,
oh my God.
God bless. Why didn't, like I say, like,
thank God.
But even still, I'm also gonna say, I doubt it because they don't have to actually own the studio anymore. I'd also be scared for future projects with them. I think they got that thing greenlit at the right time, just in like whatever they're working on. Because I feel like if they tried to get something greenlit right now, the Xbox wouldn't even be interested. But you know, you've had Activision Blizzard layoffs earlier this year. You've now had Bethesda. It's looking likely that Xbox Game Studios is going to suffer the same fate in the next 2 months, 3 months, right? And I think the problem is Xbox made a lot of quirky decisions in who they have acquired in the past decade, right? Yeah. I genuinely am concerned for quite a few studios. Number one for me is, because they will always be near and dear to my heart, it's Double Fine. I'm fucking terrified for Double Fine right now, because Double Fine does not make big releases. They do not make extremely profitable releases. And also they tend to take their time on projects. Psychonauts 2 was 2021. We've not had anything since. I'm fucking terrified for them. I think the only thing that might save them from a round of layoffs is they're probably near the end of development of whatever's next, would be the only thing that is potentially keeping them afloat. But I'm fucking terrified. If you say to me, point a gun to my head, who, like, if they do the exact same thing studio-wise, who would you think they'd go for? I'd hate to say it, but I would say Double Fine. Like,
yeah.
They make quirky, fun video games, right? They're not making extremely profitable things. Psychonauts 2 was their biggest game ever, but if you've watched the documentary, the thing they learnt about it was they're never going to do a game like Psychonauts 2 ever again because it was too big for them. That's the one thing they learnt, was like, never again. It was hell developing that game. They're going back to making silly games like Stacking and all of that jazz, where it's like Costume Quest, all that jazz, right? Like, not huge games. The game that they were working on that was kind of not necessarily leaked, but we know because of the documentary, is they're making like a PvP game where the idea is you're these little ghosts and you make pottery. And you control the pottery, and you become like pottery warriors, and you've got to carry water in your pottery to like fight. Like it's like a It's like a PvP game, but you're building pottery as ghosts, and you're like cramming water into them. It's called Kiln, and it's such a cool, like, stupid little goofy game.
This
but
sounds
that is
like
not
the same kind of goofy thing that like I'd be like, just one weekend be like, yo, check this out. The same way I did with like friends in Gang Beasts, where
it's like a Gang Beasts
have
kind
have
of
a
thing,
silly
yeah.
fun time here, and then every so often for the next several years they'll be like, hey, want to play that?
Yeah. You get on your pottery wheel. If it's really fat, then it's really sturdy, right? If you make it really tall, then you might be able to swing at people. Like, if you make it really short, some people might not be able to swing at you because you're too small. Like, stuff like that. It's like goofy stuff like that, right? But I don't see that being highly profitable, right? Like, it's like stuff like that scares the shit out of me. It just does. That just fucking terrifies me, to be honest. Do I also see Tim Schafer being the kind of person that then just makes triple fine the day after and like just rehires everybody back? Probably, but I'd be scared. I'll talk to you, Hunter. Ninja Theory.
Yeah, it doesn't look good.
No. Especially assuming they've done fuck all advertising for Hellblade 2. They made
also,
some tweets, guys. They made some tweets. It started 2 weeks to go.
Game is like a week and a half away, and I've marketed this game more than they have.
And he doesn't even own an Xbox.
No, that's the infuriating thing.
Just a big fan.
That's the infuriating thing about if this happens to Ninja Theory, is it's like how last year, one of the most indignant instances, or the instance that made me the most indignant with studios being gutted, was when Mediatonic most of them got sent home because of Epic's, horrible mismanagement there. Mm-hmm. Because the reason that was so infuriating was because they did it. They should have been okay. They had a great success, and then
same to Hi-Fi Rush. They did the job. They made a critically acclaimed thing. Yeah. It was successful. It gave everybody a bunch of positive press, and their reward is majority of them being sacked, if not all of them being sacked. And it's like, wow, what a great use of resources. I love consolidation. It's great. I love it. It's so good.
And it's like, I'm sure that whatever Senua Saga does, like, if Ninja Theory were on their own, I think it would probably do enough for them to be like, yeah, that was good.
This was good. This was profitable.
But now they've got people above them that are going to be like, no, not good enough.
Oh, I'm even more scared for Ninja Theory than I would be for Tango. Because the thing with Hi-Fi Rush is critically beloved, the aesthetic of it and all of that jazz at least gets people to, if you're in on Hellblade, you're in, but like Hellblade's a much harder game to convince people to play than a Hi-Fi Rush. It's also, it's a sequel to an indie game. Let's be real here. Ninja Theory basically made a very pretty game, right? But it was a very small project. Hellblade 1 was a small project that was, a passion project by a team that, looked far better than it had any right being. And now it's had all this Xbox money. And not only that, it has been in development for over 5 years. It is. And what Ninja Theory has basically been saying this entire time is, listen, guys, do not expect bigger. Do not expect massively different. It's a sequel to Hellblade, and it's around the same length. And it's like, oh, cool. For Hellblade fans, it's going to be great because they've had all this time to work on a sequel that's, going to be a great time, and I'm sure it's going to be fantastic. But...
oh, definitely.
To a corporation who's like, we have bought a studio, they have made a sequel that is the same length, that was far more expensive, and is day one on Game Pass, and a load of people aren't going to buy it and are just going to play it through Game Pass. What does that say to, like, them, realistically?
It's infuriating.
Because here's the thing, they can't say, oh, we didn't expect it to do that well. Because it was the first game that was shown off for Xbox Series X. It was the reveal game for the Series
their
X.
console with it.
Yeah. It's been at Xbox showcases every year since, basically. It's like, they keep trying to push it. And as much as you have been promoting it, Hunter, I don't think it'll be a breakaway hit. I really don't.
No, sadly, I don't think it will. Like, maybe if it reviews astronomically, and even then that won't like do any number of sales that will matter. It'll just get more people than would have before.
Yeah, 100%.
But it's stupid because this, like, it's the kind of game that, you know, should exist. Because it's one of the reasons I liked Alan Wake, and for example, or, you know, Death Stranding. They're willing to do something that's not just what everyone else will like.
And I mean, let's be real here. They're two great examples, because we know for a fact that Alan Wake 2 has not made its money back yet. And there's been a long-standing belief that also Death Stranding, if profitable, didn't make that much. But I think both Epic in that case and Sony in Death Stranding's case realized that the awards and the kind of the public response to those games is worth more than the small amount of losses or the losses that they had on it. Whereas I don't think Xbox at the current moment is in that mood, or else Tango would be fine. Yeah. You know? I mean, we can also say Obsidian. Like, here's the thing about Obsidian.
I don't feel...
Yeah.
I've felt like Obsidian feels like... even if this wasn't happening, it wouldn't shock me to see Obsidian dissolved soon, because it feels very much like they bought them and then they bought Bethesda, so now Xbox is like, yeah, we don't even need you.
Yeah. It's ridiculous, right?
And
the thing
sucks.
Is, what do they make? They made Pentiment, which is great, but I can guarantee it did even worse than fucking Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah.
It made The Outer Wilds, which is space Fallout when we don't have the Fallout IP, and Avowed, which was supposed to be Elder Scrolls, but we don't have the Elder Scrolls IP. Now they have both of them.
Yeah.
I feel like there's two scenarios here. They shut Obsidian down after Avowed, or two...
like, folded into Bethesda as a support or something.
They made New Vegas. If you're looking at a studio, they've been saying this for a while, where it's like, what to do with Fallout? We're going to be waiting a decade for another Fallout game. Basically forcing Obsidian to make a new Fallout game is the only thing that I can see them doing.
Yeah.
Which, don't get me wrong, I have heard from many people that Obsidian were the best at making Fallout games, because that's the best new Fallout game out of the three of them, apparently. But still, that shouldn't be anybody's, you know... No one should be forced to make something that they don't want to make.
Yeah. Realistically.
And I think the best description I've seen is, I saw someone on Twitter, unfortunately I can't mention it because I don't know where it came from, but someone said when Xbox acquired Activision, they were expecting a lot of Xbox to rub off on Activision in terms of, oh, it's going to free people from the Call of Duty mines, look at all this, like everyone's going to be fine. It seems to have been a lot more the other way around. It seems that a lot...
Yeah, exactly.
Now it's, oh, Xbox isn't a quirky little thing that Microsoft does that doesn't matter anymore. You just spent $70 billion fucking dollars on this stupid acquisition that we had to fight.
Kotick your boatload of money, and
that we had to fight like hell for to get it through. Now you need to start making that money back. You're no longer Xbox. You're like the gaming side of Microsoft right now. You need to start making money. And this is a problem where it's like, I see more people being stuck in the Call of Duty mines. I honestly think Call of Duty is going to get worse. I genuinely do think Call of Duty is going to get worse.
Probably. Yeah. Doesn't matter how many times they dedicate their, second hour of their E3 show to it either.
And you can't even use that one as a base, because that game's been in development for 4 years. It's got nothing to do with the Xbox acquisition, right?
Yeah. That's a stupid thing to do, by the way. A little bit of a diversion here, but it's like, most of the people who are going to buy Call of Duty exceed the number of people who are going to watch that.
Yeah.
Why make it? It's like why I was always confused why Ubisoft would have a Just Dance segment for E3. It's
only hope, Hunter, and this is the copium in me, is Call of Duty's been garbage for the past 3 or 4 years, right? Mm-hmm. And this is Treyarch's game that they've had over 4 years to make, which is the longest a Call of Duty game's ever had in development. My hope is they've actually let Treyarch cook a bit, where they're like, oh no, look, we've actually done some shit. Like, look, Zombies is back and better than ever, like stuff like that. That's what my hope is. I don't feel the fucking hope in the slightest. I don't, because it's not going to happen. But that's my hope, is the reason that they're dedicating an hour to it is because they've let them cook for once in their life. Instead of making a game in 18 months, they've had 4 years. But I don't see it. I don't know, man. Is there any other I'm just trying to look, because I'm like, Mojang is also another one. Mojang has so many employees and they make one update a year, and like the running joke in the Minecraft community is it's the biggest game in the world, and they don't update the video game. They do fuck all. They add like one block and like a mob every year, and that's it. And they have like hundreds of developers on it.
Are other studios responsible for all the spin-offs and stuff then?
Not anymore. So,
no.
And they've not been successful, so
no.
I'd look at them. I think everybody else is probably pretty fine. Ooh, maybe Compulsion, actually. I'd be scared for Compulsion as well.
What about In Exile?
What have they been making?
How are we feeling about them?
No offense to them. What do they?
Because I've never heard of anything they've made.
Clockwork Revolution. Yeah, fuck for them as well.
Yeah.
The only people that I think would be safe are Rare, Playground,
343,
343, and the Coalition, probably.
Mojang.
So
the initiative,
the only ones that are safe. Oh yeah, that's a whole thing that I would remember hearing about earlier this week too. Was that like things aren't
dark?
Yeah,
things
it's been going
aren't
to
going
shit.
great for Perfect Dark either.
Good.
Which has been in development for like 5 years. Of course, it's not going well for it.
I feel like we've known about it for how long this podcast has been going.
Longer, I think.
Longer, I think as well. I think it was pre-COVID they announced Perfect Dark.
Yeah.
No, damn.
Yeah. And they.
Maybe as long as Metroid Prime 4's been in redevelopment, probably.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Straight up,
which
it might be a possibility. Like,
definitely Metroid Prime, 100%.
They were saying the like stupid quadruple A nonsense way before Ubisoft was saying that about Skull and Bones too.
Oh god!
But yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if it doesn't come out.
Yeah,
100%.
Unfortunately,
but so the only ones that are safe are the studios that Xbox already had before they started. You know,
ding ding ding. Yep. And let's be clear here.
And we're right back to square one.
The only reason Rare is safe is because of Sea of Thieves. That's literally the only reason. Is Sea of Thieves prints money, and that's the only reason.
And it's a lucky thing that it's 10 years on or whatever at this point, because if it was only like year 3 or something, they'd be like, "Oh, time to put the pillow over your face."
Yep. It's but they let Fallout 76 keep going.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know what the future of Xbox is. I really don't, because everyone's like, oh, they're probably going to start releasing everything multi-platform and stuff like that. And I'm like, even then, like, what is if Xbox just becomes a publisher? Are they just gonna be a shitty publisher? Is that it? Is that the end of the Xbox brand? Is we're gonna make some portable handhelds that can boot Steam up, and we're gonna be dickheads that own Call of Duty? Is that the plan?
That's where it seems like
they bought Activision, and they're just going to become Activision plus Fallout and Skyrim.
That sounds about right? It does. Like, it makes me sad, but it does. I mean, it all comes down to Phil has been playing this fucking game, and like I say, I've got nothing against Phil personally. Like, he's not done anything to offend me. And the couple of conversations I've seen of him, for the most part, when they're not on official Xbox channels, he seems like a decent guy. Don't know him. He could be terrible, but his outward appearance, all right. I feel like ever since 2019, we have been on this shtick of been a quiet year, guys, but next year, that's when the Xbox train starts ticking. When Series X comes, that's when the train starts. We're missing Halo next year. Quiet year this year, 2020, but next year, big year, we've got Halo. 2021 comes around. Just Halo. Quiet year, guys, and Halo's shit, but don't worry. Wait till you see next year. That's when the train starts rolling in. Next year comes round. Maybe the next year, guys. We're still rolling. Redfall was shit, wasn't it? But oh well. Starfield came out messy. Oh well. Next year's the big one. We're now in May. They haven't released anything, and they've closed 4 studios down. It's like there is no start to this train. When does the train start?
There aren't even tracks laid down for the train.
We are technically halfway through
They're
this
still
generation.
getting the coal.
We're halfway through this generation. Realistically. And what games has Xbox had? Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah. They're
A
not
new
going to have a
Forza.
2.
And a Halo that people didn't like that much. The only compliment Halo Infinite got was better than Halo 5. That's literally the compliment. And Halo 5
People liked it more in the beta than they did the full release.
Like, I really don't see the plan right now. And I know we joke about none of us have an Xbox and Ethan's gonna sell, but it's like, I don't see myself using, like, when my Game Pass subscriptions lapses next February or whatever, because I got 3 years for, like, super cheap, I'm not renewing it. No chance in hell.
Right.
Because what's the why?
It's no reason.
No reason. I don't use it.
Yeah.
I've not played anything.
You're losing all your reasons to keep it at this point.
The last game I played on Game Pass properly was Starfield back in September.
Incredible.
Because here's the thing is, the way Xbox treats its ecosystem and the way it treats its publicity and everything like that, it's like, oh, we have the Persona brand, we have the Persona marketing, you can play Persona day one, no extra cost, on your Xbox. And I'm like, or I can buy it on my PlayStation or PC. Think about that one for a second. I might just go do
And
that.
own it forever.
Yeah, and yeah.
The thing is, like, they're so obsessed with being everywhere that it seems like they didn't think about
wanting to be
something.
there.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
sure, you can be inevitable, like death and taxes, but no one likes you.
That's the thing is,
Like death and taxes.
that's the
Exactly.
thing, is the Xbox app on PC is shit. I would rather buy games on Steam than play games through that app. I just would. I remember playing Tell Me Why in 2021 through that app. Wanted to
God, it was
punch
so
somebody.
bad.
Wanted to punch somebody with how bad that app is. It's garbage. And
It
it's
did not
still
get
bad.
better a year later for 12 minutes either.
Oh, sorry to spoil it for when you inevitably have to boot it up again for Hellblade in a couple of weeks. It's still garbage now. Not any better.
I don't know. At this point, they're going to shotgun the PS5 release of that game in like 2 months anyway, so that they can have that happen and then close Ninja Theory in July.
Yeah. But it's like, no one, like, that's the thing is, I don't want to buy stuff on the Xbox ecosystem because I am uncertain about it. I'm fine chucking a couple of bucks here and there to buy, like, you know, I bought The Witcher 3 because I didn't want to play it on PlayStation because of trophies, because I'm a stupid fucking idiot and my brain doesn't work properly. Or I bought the Yakuza games because they were super cheap. But that's like it, right? Like, I don't care enough. I'm not invested. And that's my question is, right? Is you're not converting new people to your platform. And you're starting to anger the people who are in on your platform. Where do we go from here, guys? Like, where do we go? Close more studios down?
Yeah, it's stupid. Like
less games?
every time they've almost got me to go, maybe they've, kick-flipped the rake, and now they've, like, never.
That's the thing, was Sony was out here fucking donning the clown shoes, and then Xbox was like, hang on, let me bring the car, and then they fucking drove the clown car into the station, because they were like,
guys, you need the circus.
Yeah.
It's
like, I don't, like I say, I own 2 Xboxes. I own a Series X and a Series S. I don't see myself using them. Once I've built my new PC, I genuinely don't see myself using them. I might buy the odd exclusive on Steam, but you've just shut down Tango. So there's one exclusive I was looking forward to that I will never get to see in my life, which was Hi-Fi Rush 2.
Yeah.
And let's be real here, other than Forza Horizon, and if you let Double Fine live for another couple of years, you're gonna get nothing out of me. Like, realistically. See you for Elder Scrolls 6 in 2034, I guess, if Todd's still around, and I'll be there.
Oh, cool. It'll be out before Hollow Knight Silksong.
Oh, good. I can't wait. I don't know, any closing thoughts, Hunter?
corporations suck. Support the support the projects from smaller people within your means.
Kyle,
'Cause-
anything from you?
Yeah.
Give your developers a second chance, genuinely.
100%.
Because, like, yeah, Hi-Fi Rush might not have been the success you wanted it to be, but through word of mouth and the reviews of the first game, maybe the second game could have been more profitable. But now we'll never know.
Let me tell you,
And
if
honestly,
two
it just
little
feels
games,
like,
Kyle,
do you guys remember like the PlayStation 2, GameCube, Xbox era where you'd get like full trilogies released onto your consoles?
Yeah.
It just feels like we're past that, and it sucks.
with dev times, 100%, you're lucky if you get 2.
Yeah.
It's like Horizon.
That's an industry at large problem because of bloated budgets and all of that.
It is though.
Right.
Like, I've been playing PS3 games, Kyle, for the past month now. I'm still on that binge.
Hell yeah.
I've played
Where you at
old
on it
games.
now?
Pardon?
Where you at on that now?
I am at I have platinumed. I've platinumed 9 out of 10 games. I wanted to platinum 10 PS3 games, and I platinumed 9 of 10. I even did Saints Row 3. I actually got into it and did it. So now I'm playing Assassin's Creed game just to really feel that PS3 momentum.
The first one?
No, Assassin's Creed Rogue.
Oh, that
just
one.
to send your PS3 out with a whimper.
No, I might play BioShock Infinite. That might be. I'm enjoying it that much. I'm like, I might do a bonus round. I'm having that much fun not playing new games at the moment. But playing Infamous 1 and 2, I'm like, those games came out 2 years apart. And man, what a difference and a glow up Infamous 2 is over Infamous 1. And I was going to give, 2 games that from that exact same generation, Kyle, that when you said give people a second chance. I think the 2 perfect examples of that are Assassin's Creed and Uncharted.
Yeah.
Both of them. Uncharted 1 and Assassin's Creed 1, some of not the most perfect games, but they had potential and people saw it in them. They were well received. The sequel came up and both franchises blew up. Assassin's Creed 2 was huge. Uncharted 2 was huge. I genuinely think that Hi-Fi Rush 2, not saying it would have been gangbusters, but I think Hi-Fi Rush 2 with an actual promotional marketing push instead of it being a shadow drop with... maybe even having it be multiplat by the time, because I feel like by the time that game would have come out, Xbox probably would have moved to multiplat. I think it would have been massive. I genuinely do think it would have been a big game, and
something
sucks.
That's something else that people were talking about this week is that, like, it's not just the people individually working there that needs to be there for the elements of the game to come together. It's working as a team and whatnot. Right? Like, you don't get to The Last of Us without Naughty Dog doing Uncharted first, or Supergiant wouldn't be on top of the world with Hades 2 right now if they had to disperse and reassemble in between every game.
100%. And I think that's the biggest... I don't like to compare Xbox and PlayStation that much, to be honest, because it just draws out the worst people on the planet, right? So I don't like to.
It sure does.
But I feel like the real difference between PlayStation and Xbox with the way their studios have been is not only has Xbox just been acquiring, they've just been taking what wasn't theirs and just making it theirs, which doesn't necessarily work, as we are seeing. But PlayStation studios are, for the most part, they have been shit. Like I say, was it Manchester studio that was shut down? One of the studios was shut down this year. And, you've had Japan studio fuck. So don't get me wrong, PlayStation fucks up. And they fuck up a lot. And we'll talk about it in a little bit with the Helldivers situation.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
But, like, here's the thing, is you look at all their studios. You look at even, like, the smaller ones, like Bend and Media Molecule, right? Guerrilla. You look at Insomniac, you look at Naughty Dog, you look at Sony Santa Monica Studios. They are all studios that have been around for well over a decade. They have all had multiple, not just like 1 or 2 titles, but quite literally a lot of them have had a dozen titles that they've released in the past over the span of, some of them, 20 to 25 years.
Yeah.
And then look what you're seeing is you're seeing them invest in a load of new studios that haven't made anything. And what are you getting? You're getting stuff like fucking Fair Game $, Concord, whatever that project that isn't Deviation Games anymore because they shut Deviation Games down and just took half the studio and made a new one and kept it a secret, right? But Sony's been doing a lot of that where it's just like make new studios, and it's not been working. And I feel like Xbox is the same way, where it's like, you're our studio now. You're our studio. You made a fuck up, get in the bin. Out you go, toodaloo.
You did well, get in the bin.
Yeah, like, it's very clear. We bought Bethesda because we wanted Todd Howard and we wanted Starfield. And we heard that Starfield might have been a timed exclusive to PlayStation. We're just going to buy Bethesda because it's for sale. Yeah. Activision Blizzard. We want money. We're just going to buy Activision Blizzard. Like, we just want Call of Duty now. We're going to buy it. They act like the bratty kid with the fucking toy box, where they go into Toys R Us, rest in peace, and they're like, I want the big Death Star set. And Mum's like, we can't afford the big Death Star set. Do you want this little cantina set instead? And the kid's like, fuck off. I want the big Death Star. And then it's like, okay, have the big Death Star. You get it for Christmas. You unbox it. You build the big Death Star. And now the kid does what every fucking kid does now that they have the big Death Star. Well, I'm fucking done with this. Stick it in the cupboard, on to the next thing. I want the cantina. Like, that's what they do. And it's like, that's what Xbox's mentality is I want this thing. Oh, I don't want you anymore. Throw you a fucking way. I want this thing now.
Or they're buying things
you
that
didn't
are
make
like,
us $20 squillion. Get out of here.
Or they're buying big things that have parts that they don't want. In the case of, like, Tango.
Dude, they're buying multi-packs, dude. They're buying multi-packs, and they're like, oh, I don't want, like, they're buying fucking Myconites, and they hate the cherry flavors. They're like, I don't want the fucking cherry flavor. I'm just gonna chuck all the cherry Myconites out my fucking packet. And it's like, then don't buy them.
The purchase of Bethesda to, like, Starburst, and Tango's the red one.
Yeah, basically.
The one that's good.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, let's get rid of that one.
Yeah, bro. And it's like, it's like the green Starburst. And it's like, oh, but some people really like the green Starburst, and Xbox is like, but I only like the purples. Bin with you, no, like I hate this.
I don't care what other people like.
I hate that. Like, I hate it. Like, my God.
Here was one thing. While they were, they announced the studio closures got announced. Like, in the same 15 minutes, I got, the Gamer Deals Twitter telling me about how you could purchase a new Xbox Elite controller for...
Oh, that's so funny. That it was Feel the Burn. It was called Feel the Burn. They posted the moment Jason Schreier released the fucking scoop, literally on the hour, Xbox released a new controller that just said, the title of the blog was Feel the Burn, and I fucking laughed. Like, I genuinely was like, this is it. Because Xbox releases a new controller like every week. If they had the same release strategy as they did video games, my God, they'd be on top of the fucking world, mate. Like, my God. Yeah. It sucks, man. It really does suck. I want Xbox to succeed. I don't want a monopoly. I don't want it where the two fucking people that are in charge are fucking Sony, and on the other side, kicking rocks and eating sand, Nintendo. Like, I don't want that. That's the thing. Yeah, you'll have one group who are just going to be shitty and act dumb, and then there's going to be the other people eating Play-Doh and going, that'll be $500, please. And you're like, no, I don't care that your games are good. Stop eating Play-Doh. Stop acting like God damn it. Like, I want competition, and I just don't see it.
It's
I think my favorite part of that example is I couldn't tell which company was which.
Well, who knows?
Yeah, it's a mystery, but yeah, it's like, like in a perfect world, more competition makes things better. Like, I've not purchased an Xbox out of some misplaced brand loyalty for PlayStation.
And let's be real here, if you are a console fanboy, if you do have brand loyalty like
this is the wrong show for you.
You're fucking deranged. You need to go get checked.
Get out.
Like, honestly, like, not needed. Everyone has a preference. Like, I understand if you're like, I've had a PlayStation since I was a kid, and that's why all my library is, so I like buying things on PlayStation. That's fine. It's when you go, I like PlayStation, therefore, anybody that likes Xbox, I'm gonna say something horrible to on the internet instantly.
Therefore, I
like,
want PlayStation to buy everything.
Yeah, or I want everything owned by PlayStation because they're my friend. No, it's dumb.
No.
It's stupid.
No,
Get
as
a
much
grip.
as
They're not
I
your
buy,
friend, they're a
as much as
company.
I've had every PlayStation, every game I've liked, or more of the games I've liked on it, have not been made by PlayStation.
Yep.
And I mean, like,
Wouldn't you know who
PS5
won
is
the
a
pony?
perfect example. There's been like fucking 5 exclusives, and my like literally preaching to the choir. What are the 2 best games that PlayStation have released this generation, ladies and gentlemen? That's right, Astro and fucking Returnal. They're the 2 best ones. They're the only good ones. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
Not the biggest sellers. Let's be real. But it's like, again, you look at Sony's release strategy. Horizon, God of War, Ratchet and Clank, Astro's Playroom, Returnal. At least Spider-Man. There's at least a bit of variety there when you go, okay, let's look what Xbox has done. And it's like, well, they had Psychonauts 2, but it was pre the acquisition, so it was actually everywhere. But if we go for what they actually had, we've had Halo, we've had Forza, we've had another Forza, Hi-Fi Rush. Oh no, we shot them now. So, anyone for more Halo? Like, it's like, we're just like, I just don't get it. I really don't get it. I wish them the best, but also fuck you, because you just killed off my favorite studio from you. So, well, my second favorite. I would never blaspheme. I love Tim Schafer too much, but you know, second favorite studio. Rest in peace. But don't worry, guys. Just in 1 month, Xbox Showcase. Watch Call of Duty, play Call of Duty. Hey, can't wait. Join us live where they fucking reveal to you and the studio which one gets shut down on a big fucking billboard.
I said something. I made a post, on Tuesday. I was like, join Phil and friends for their summer show where they host the execution of Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah. And then Jeff Keighley will be there going, that was a great event. I can't wait for that. That sounds fantastic. Like, yeah. Welcome to Summer Game Fest, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, fuck you, Xbox. And let's move on to our next topic. Fuck you, PlayStation.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, right? Is the Xbox thing you look at and you go, like, that's you're like, that's suicide for no fucking reason. And you go, well, wait till you see what Sony did.
The guy on the bike sticking the pike in the spokes of the wheel.
Yeah. It's basically it's like a comedy, right? Where it's like Sony just decided to jump out the window. And they were just like, haha, that's quirky. And then fucking Xbox was like, hold my beer. And then just flew a plane 20,000 feet into the air and then jumped out and went, my jump's bigger.
Without a
Watch me
parachute.
go. Yeah.
My jump's bigger.
Like, it was dumb. And I feel like the Sony thing is the most, like, let's get into it. Helldivers, Sony's biggest success of the past couple of years, let's be honest here.
Yeah.
Perfect game, really. It was going super well. Everyone loved it. Everyone was still playing it. And Sony was like, wow, not had some controversy lately. Let me get my fucking pistol out and shoot myself in the foot real quick. PSN required for everybody. Bang, bang. Dislike bomb. Like, there you go. Like, that's great.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand where, like, Helldivers is the one video game that has turned a community into, like, an unstoppable force, where it's like, Starship Troopers parody. Everybody is doing it for the glory of democracy, right? And everyone has put their RP helmets on and are very into it and love clowning on this shit, right? So the whole game's premise is teaming up. It's like, kill 2 billion bugs, and they're like, we've done it in 24 hours. Give us something harder. Like, everyone's just... Yeah. So, if you then fuck with that community, what do you think they're gonna do? They were like, we've planned for this. You have literally planned for us. It's like, new villain unlocked. Third faction.
PlayStation created their own version of K-pop fans and then turned them on themselves.
I think that my favorite thing about this is that PlayStation had Helldivers and it was a huge success.
They just had to leave it alone.
All they had to do was nothing.
Nothing.
And they fucked it up.
It's the best part.
How do you do that?
It's the best part. It's like my favorite. If you haven't watched it, Yahtzee did not a zero punctuation, a fully ramblomatic on Helldivers 2, and I love his videos. They're great. But my favorite part is because he wrote the review beforehand, so he was like, "Please wait for my really detailed statement at the end of the video," and then it's just the whole review's as normal, and then just the final line was "until you fucked it up," and then it just ends. So it's like that's great, good stuff.
That was a good review.
Yeah, but it's like you literally had to do nothing. You could literally just ride the coattails of this high forever, and you were like, no, pistol, bang bang, let's see the consequences. And here's the thing, they've gone back on some of it, but not all of it. So you still can't buy the game in places where PSN doesn't exist, and now they're doing the same for Ghost of Tsushima. So they're still being pricks about it, and I don't understand why. Either one, make PSN accessible to everywhere. Come on, it's 2024.
Yeah.
Or two, remove this requirement, because who fucking cares? Let's be real here.
That's the stupid thing. They don't need it for the game to function, because they've been functioning without it.
No. And here's the thing, right?
God.
Is you're like, oh yeah, what's the other game, right? It's like, oh, Ghost of Tsushima. They've also fucked this up because they've refunded it in all these countries because it has PSN integration, so you can play Ghost of Tsushima Legends. I'm sorry, no one gives a shit. Like, Sucker Punch, I love you. No one gives a shit about Ghost of Tsushima Legends, let alone enough to ban it from 78 countries or whatever, because now none of them can play Ghost of Tsushima because of this stupid requirement, right? It's dumb. Like, why? Like, you had one job, Sony. You were doing something which, for you, was actually kind of cool, where you were going, unlike Xbox, where you're like, oh yeah, Game Pass, blah, 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 but you have to have your own stupid app, or you can pay full price on Steam. Like, fuck it. On Steam, full price, but they're proper ports. We've bought a company to basically just do these ports. For the most part, they're pretty solid. And then you were about to go, oh, and if you have a PSN, now we finally figured the technology so that you can have your trophies and everything, cross-progress, you're all good. You just had to have that be an option, not be, oh, but because we've done that, now no one who doesn't have a PSN can buy the game now.
Like, yeah, the trophies don't mean that much.
Especially to, like, a PC player.
Especially when it's
to somebody who doesn't have a PlayStation.
And I've said this, you fucked it up as well, because the only way you were going to get trophy hunters
either.
The only way you were going to get trophy hunters involved was if it was a new trophy list for PC. There were PC trophy lists. Then you would have had all the gremlins like me going, "Ooh, I've got to buy Returnal again. I've got to buy Ratchet and Clank again because I can get another trophy list." Now it syncs with the PS5 version. Okay, if I've already played and platinum the PS5 version, what's the fucking point of having trophy integration then? Because I've already done it. I don't need that. Are you expecting? Is this for the little Timmy who played 2/3 of Ghost of Tsushima on PS5, then got his $3,000 PC, bought it again, and went, ooh, now I can finish off that trophy list. Oh wait, there's no cross save, so I have to play the whole game again anyway. Like, I can't pick back up where I left off. I have to start it again. There's no point. It's stupid. Like,
hear that, Hunter? You can't pick up where you left off.
Well, not across different systems, obviously.
Yeah, but either make that a thing where it's like, oh yes, trophy lists sync and so does your save. Or have it be, you can connect it to PSN and there's a separate trophy list and obviously you'll have a separate save game. That makes sense. But they did this half-ass where it's like, trophy lists sync, but saves are unique. So if you are just missing one trophy in Ghost of Tsushima, you better play the whole fucking game to get that trophy, man.
I hope you like Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
Or a novel idea, load up the version you already had and do it that way.
Yeah, like, it's, like I say, it just seems stupid. And it's like, again, you had one job, Sony, just don't fuck it up. And now you're just like, again, gun to the foot.
The one win you were going to have all year, because you're seemingly not putting any other games out until, the middle of 2025.
I mean, from what we've heard, Astro's coming this year, and that's it. And I mean, don't get me wrong, as I say, we stan Astro in this household. I will be buying it full price $70 day one. I don't care. That game could be whatever it is, and I will get my money worth out of it. I don't give a shit.
Unless they need me to buy the silly headset to play it, then yeah.
Which they won't, because they don't want anyone buying that silly headset because they haven't released a game since.
Yeah, they've given up on that.
Because it's the price of the console.
Yeah.
It was $50 more than the console, Kyle. Let's get that right, okay? You had to pay more for your silly headset that did nothing and doesn't work and has 2 games on it.
It has somehow fewer games.
When you're making Facebook
But
look
it does
good, you
have
know
Beat
you're doing
Saber.
bad, bro. Like that's a problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like you had one job, you shot yourself in the foot, and now it's like, cool, I guess. We're just going to ban ourselves from like 80 different countries. Why? Oh, no, thank you. I don't want your money unless you sign up for our stupid online service that you're not actually going to pay for because you're on PC anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
So, like, yeah, no one's gonna buy Plus either because they don't have to.
that's the thing is that it's even more backwards for Ghost. So for Helldivers 2 and Ghost of Tsushima Legends, they're like, you need to sign into your PSN account and play online for free. When on console, you have to do that and pay. Like, excuse me, like that's just dumb. Like,
I never thought about how silly it seems to play a multiplayer game on PlayStation if they release them both places now.
that's what I'm saying. If it's day and date, it actually. And here's the thing: is like I say, I'm building a new PC currently. It's going to be pretty. It's going to be high enough quality, right? So there is a part of me. I already pay for Plus every year because I have like friends that play video games, all that jazz. But if I didn't, and I had a good PC and a PlayStation, and someone was like, "Oh, you can get the trophies on the PC version, and you don't have to pay for online," I'm like, "Oh, cool! I'm gonna go buy the PC version then. Because why the fuck would I pay for the PlayStation version? Because I've got to pay $12 extra to just play online for 30 days. Like that's dumb."
Right.
It's just shooting yourself in the foot. Like, why the fuck? Like, let's be real here. Like, why'd you do that? Like, no. Like,
Yeah.
you just ruined the launch of not only, Helldivers, it's returning to the normal, but, you're still losing a huge player base. And now Ghost of Tsushima. I don't know how many people were caring about Ghost of Tsushima in the first place on PC. I'm assuming quite a few people, because people like that game. But, again, you're leaving a sour taste in people's mouths going, oh, yeah, you can't play it unless you're in the countries that already have a PlayStation. I'm sure there were plenty of people who live in countries who can't get PlayStations or PSN and go, oh, cool, I can finally play Ghost of Tsushima. No, you can't. Fuck you.
Yeah, it's stupid. It's like, why narrow your market at all?
It's just dumb. It really is dumb. It's all fun and games, though, hey? Like, that's the thing. It's all fun. It's dumb, dude. I feel, in this situation, I really feel for Arrowhead, the developers of Helldivers, because they genuinely were they just took the brunt of it. They were in the fucking trenches, quite literally. And they had to fight it out.
The community manager got fired because he encouraged people to review on it.
Did he get fired?
He might have. That might have been an exaggeration. I don't know.
I know he did tell everyone to review bomb it, and the review bomb worked.
Yeah.
That's my favourite part, was a load of people were atting the CEO to see if they could make a cape with the design of the 4 bars of the dislike, like the dislike hatred, like the chart that's on Steam where it shows you how many people have disliked it in a day or whatever. It's like, that's cute. Yeah, they should do that. That's quite funny.
Yeah.
But it sucks for them because they were just thrust into something because Sony just
Yeah,
wants to
they're
be
minding their own
arseholes about it.
business, making PlayStation's win for the year, and then PlayStation kick-flipped the rake.
And like I say, it's a bad year for everybody, really. So let's be real here. Like, I mean, you've got Sony out here with Helldivers, which is great, but not much for the rest of the year. Microsoft got Hellblade, and that's fucking it. Avowed if it shows up at the end of the year. And then you have, like, Nintendo, who was probably supposed to have released a console this year, but isn't now and has pushed it a little bit. So they're just fucking twiddling their thumbs, finding what they can
Just
chuck
hanging
out. Like I say, that Direct in June, belter that's going to be. Can't wait to see what they pull out the fucking sack this time. We've had this developed for 3 years. I guess you can have it now.
Honestly,
we'll get to
I'm
that, Hunter.
fascinated.
We'll get to it. We'll be there in a bit.
All right.
But yeah, I just think it's funny because it's the worst time of year to do it. Because literally in the next 2 weeks, you're gonna have a PlayStation showcase. We have a date for the Xbox Direct thing. Yeah. Nintendo's having a Direct.
Summer Game Fest is coming up.
Summer Game Fest is coming up.
For whatever that's worth.
Oh, I can't wait for that, dude. You know it's bad when you're going into when you're going into key 3 season and you're going, wow, you know,
Jeff's been the least offensive.
Jeff's the least offensive so far. Yeah, he's doing a good job of staying out of it. And I will give him fair play.
Nintendo didn't do anything either yet, but
no, they just made an announcement at 3 a.m.
I'll give him this, right? You know, he's not causing too much state, and after 8 months, he finally started acknowledging that redundancies are happening in the industry. So, you know, fair play to him, Jeff. You tried to hide away from it for 8 months, but I can't remember what it was that caused the outrage, that caused the coin to flip the other way. But he finally has started acknowledging it a bit. Still won't in an actual Game Awards speech,
no,
but you know,
probably not. No, it won't give people enough time to say anything about it either.
Well, anyway, yeah, bad job, Sony. Let's talk about Nintendo. Nintendo Switch successor is real, guys. Get hyped. At 3 a.m., which let me just say, Callan Hunter, as representatives of America right now, how embarrassed are you for your people, dude? Like, how embarrassed are you with all the tweets of people being like, why'd they do it at 3 a.m.? Why'd they do it at 3 a.m.?
Because they're a Japanese country, you idiots.
Yeah, you're not.
Japanese country.
Yeah, they're a Japanese country. Nintendo is Japan. If it wasn't for us, the yen would literally be worth nothing. That's what they're saying.
But yeah, it's because they're a Japanese company, you morons.
It just made me laugh.
It'd be like me being upset
from the Japanese account.
It'd be like me being upset that the band from Australia, I dropped their music video in the middle of my work day. Like, shut up.
I saw someone tweet
in their time zone.
I saw someone tweet about it, and it was like the funniest thing ever. And it was like a photo of the world map. And it was like a photo of the world according to America, and it was just America, and then everything else was just called Europe, and that was it. And it was like... I was like, that's quite funny. It did make me laugh though, because it's like, God,
if you go far enough past Europe, you hit space. According to some people.
Americans, you don't do yourselves any favors sometimes. I'm like, I know you're not all like that, but the vocal minority is so stupid that they're like, yeah, 1 3 a.m. It's like, yeah, because it's Japan, and that's where they care about, because that's where the earnings call was, because they're from Japan. Well done, guys. Come on in. Like, good lord. But yeah, Switch successor is real. It'll be announced this physical year, ladies and gentlemen. Which basically means what we've all been saying for a while now. It'll be announced in the fall, guys. It'll probably be announced this fall.
I suspect this to follow the same pattern as the Switch, you know, in the end of 2016. I do too.
Something announced it. Something, some kind of reveal in September.
You get the rooftop party commercial.
Some kind of reveal in September, a bigger event in January, a release between March and May is where I'd probably put it.
Yeah.
And they also announced, which is nice because we don't have to have this fucking... This is the thing. Switch 2 coming, put that to the side. I am grateful that they said there's a Direct in June so that everyone will shut the fuck up. You have saved me so much brain damage from Twitter and YouTube of people going, when will the Direct be? Like, will there be one in June? First week? Second week? Let's discuss and make 50 fucking videos about it. Like, no, we don't have to do that now.
We know Nintendo Direct trending on Twitter every day for no reason.
Yeah, we know it's going to be June. We know it's probably going to be either the first or second week to coincide with Game Fest, probably. And we also know that it's only going to be based on Nintendo Switch games, which is, for once in their life, guys, that'll be true, okay? It will just be Nintendo Switch games. I know they always say first half of the year and then there's always an October game, but this time it will be probably just what's left. I think it's great, though. I think there's some fun stuff. There's rumors going around right now with some of the specs. It looks like it's going to be better than a PS4, closer to a Series S, which is fun. I think the interesting thing to me is, even if they did just have PS4 hardware, that's such a big leap for Nintendo that Nintendo can do what everybody else can't. And I think that's just going to be fabulous. If people can make The Last of Us Part 2 and Final Fantasy VII Remake on PS4 hardware, what can Nintendo make on that kind of level of hardware is so interesting, because they look nothing like that, but they are so, like, Mario Kart 8 is such a good use of hardware in terms of appearance. So is Zelda, dude. Like, I pray for just a clean Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Just like get that game looking as good as it can.
Hit us with that double pack.
Yeah, do it, dude. It'll be the one time that I'll accept having to pay full price for video games that I've already played. I'll be like, yes, give it. I love that. It's great. But you know, June Direct. We'll probably do a predictions video in general right now, but how are we feeling about June Direct? What do you think? Do you think Nintendo has enough things in their magical sack of bullshit they made 3 years ago to keep us tied over for the rest of the year? Because it is very quiet for them. They literally just have...
The answer isn't necessarily yes, but I'm fascinated to see what rabbits they pull out of this hat.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
at this point,
here's Punch Out!
At this point, I don't even have like a guess for what could show up.
I think it's inevitable. If they ever did make a Twilight Princess and Wind Waker HD port for Switch, it is now. Like, that is the June Direct. You know what I mean? Like, it's now.
Yeah, like that has to happen now, or they're like,
or it never was
to hold it.
It was never a thing. If not, I think there's stuff like that. I've said it before. I'm like 99% sure of it. I really think that Metroid Prime 4 is a game this year. I really feel... I don't know why. I think it's because I'm so anti Metroid Prime 4 being the Switch 2 launch title, because I don't believe that for a second. That I'm like...
It wouldn't be the only one.
Yeah, but I'm like... Nintendo, to me, are the people where they've like, we've confirmed this for Nintendo Switch. We're keeping a hold on this. This isn't a Zelda, right? This isn't a... Oh yeah, but if we make Breath of the Wild for both. Like, I don't feel like Metroid is the volume seller. Like, I feel like if you go, it's on Switch 1 and Switch 2, everyone will just buy it on Switch 2. Because the only people that are going to buy Metroid already are the launch day felons anyway. You don't need them for your console sales. I feel like that's it. Like, that's in my head. I'm like, you've got Mario, Paper Mario this month. You've got like that weird NES World Championship game coming in July, which is that is a last year Nintendo game if I've ever seen a last year Nintendo game.
Yeah.
Then I can see something like a Wind Waker Twilight Princess September thing. I can see that.
Yeah.
And then a Metroid October thing. I can see that. And then it's like, I don't think they'll have it.
Free Super Mario Galaxy 2.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'm trying to think. There's got to be some kind of big-ish thing. Maybe they managed to crank another Mario Party out before the end. It's been a couple of years.
It'd be fascinating to see if they made a good one, or if it was more of the first Mario Party on the Switch.
Because it's like I say, it's that final year, and it's like you can't really guess, because it's like there's nothing really left. Like, it's like, again, you're like, oh, it's a quirky remake of like another Code and stuff like that, where you're like, oh, an Endless Ocean game. Like, it's like stuff that no one was necessarily asking for, but it's like, oh, that's cool, I guess. Obviously, you got Luigi's Mansion 2 as well.
Pokemon either.
No.
Unless that's like a January game before. It's not. I've always, well, ever since Legends Z was announced, I've always been of the belief that there was a small part of me that was like, I feel like that they might try and keep that as a launch game and have it on both. That'd be a double dipper. But then it's also Game Freak, and I feel like Game Freak is about as competent at making video games as like
Xbox is at buying things.
Yeah, basically. I just don't trust. I feel like it'd be the same fucking game anyway. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's on a different.
Yeah, but now they're on PS4 hardware.
Yeah.
The frame. Use it like they're on 3DS hardware still.
The frame rate doesn't drop.
Go for it.
Like
I love
shit.
the 3DS games.
You liked one half of them. You guys famously hate the second half of that.
Yeah, but we don't talk about the second
Some of
half.
them don't exist. That's fine.
Well,
what's Gen 7?
As a passive observer, Sun and Moon happened.
They did not.
And you guys didn't like it.
No, they didn't.
There's no proof. You've got no proof.
No proof.
No proof. Fake news.
Pokemon who?
Exactly.
You're crazy.
Damn. But now, like even WarioWare, they did a second WarioWare, and that was last year. Like, last year's fall games from Nintendo
Screw it.
felt like
WarioWare
last year.
3.
No, they're not doing another one. Fuck off.
Wario Land 4.
Mario. Imagine Wario Land 4
loud.
coming out in November.
Along
turn
with
you down
Pizza
again.
Tower.
And Anton Blast, yeah.
Hell yeah, bro.
That'd be funny. But what was it? I had one before Mario Baseball.
Oh,
They
babe,
haven't
I'd
done
be
one of
down.
those. That's true.
No, it was like the last, sport left.
This was
The
it's
last
like
baseball
made.
game was on the Wii. I'd be down for
Yeah.
one.
Well,
yeah.
you see, under other circumstances, I would consider it, but also like as a fan, if I was a fan of Mario Baseball, I would not be asking them to make a Mario Baseball game for the Switch.
Yeah.
yeah.
The other
true.
Switch sports games haven't been good, but it could be something that was happening.
Maybe. Like I say, it's just such a weird time for Nintendo because it is the end where it's like some people are like, oh, they've said they're not forecasting Switch 2 sales, so it's like, oh, it's not going to come out this physical year. I'm like, I feel like it's because it's March and it'll be in the physical year for about 2 weeks, so it doesn't they're just gonna doesn't really matter too much to them. It feels like it's been like the end times for Switch for like the past 2 years. I feel like remember when everyone was like, oh, Xenoblade 3 and Splatoon 3, this is the end of the Switch, guys. We're reaching the end. This is Monolith and that team's last game. And we're here 2 years later, and there's a really high likelihood that both of those teams could finish a game in the next year for the first, they've had a good chunk of time to make a Xenoblade 4 or an Animal Crossing or a Splatoon 4 or a Splatoon 1
Or a
remaster.
Splatoon Deluxe.
Yeah.
Which will be what it will be.
But there's been like so long. Like I remember we were like, oh, last year, Pikmin 4 were on death's door. Like that's it. Like they brought the Pikmin out. Like that's it. That's final call for this dead console. And now we're here a year later, and it's like, anyone for Mario remakes and Princess Peach Showtime, guys? Anybody out for that? It's like, there's nothing left. And I feel like if they announce some things, I'd just be pissed, you know what I mean? Like if they finally
Yes, Hunter.
what's up, Hunter?
F-Zero GX port.
That's what I'm saying, right? Is you'd get pissed at this point, right? Wouldn't you? If they came out and they were like, guys, we've brought back F-Zero, or we've brought back Tomodachi Life, and it's the last dead thing when you're supposed to switch consoles, you'd be pissed. I'd be pissed. If they made a Tomodachi Life right now, I'd be like, really? Now that the console's dying, I'm like, you couldn't have saved that for Switch 2, you fuckers? Like, I'm just going to be like, angry.
Chibi Robo.
No one would be angry
Now you're
about
just
that.
reaching.
Yeah,
So are they.
true.
Eh,
But it'll be fun. I mean,
Anyone for some pilot wings?
about a new Kid Icarus.
that would anger people. I'd be down for that.
Oh, that'd be so funny, dude. Jack would be so pissed.
Dude, did you imagine that double whammy? Metroid Prime 4 being Switch 1 exclusive and then a Pilot Wings? People would just go fucking berserk. They'd be like, right, that's it. I've had enough of life.
I feel like since Metroid Prime is probably gonna, still be sequestered to the Switch, I feel like the chances of... I would still like for that 3DS remake of Metroid 2 to get a port to something I own.
That's a good shout.
That
Any
would
other
be
And
3DS
it
games?
feels like... Yeah. And, it was a last year 3DS game. Why not make it a last year Switch game?
Hear me out. They've put
Double
Luigi's
release
Mansion.
day again.
Luigi's Mansion, baby. We're getting 2 this year.
Oh.
Why not just fuck around and put 1 on as well while we're at it? Just, while we're here. You did a 3DS port. Yoshi's Woolly World, bro. Bring that over.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
That'd
bring
be
the
a good one, actually. That'd be a
Oh
good
my
one.
God,
We haven't had
I'd
a
buy
Yoshi
it.
game in years. That's so good. Do that. That'd be fantastic. Remind people what a good fucking Yoshi game is. It's been a decade since people have played one, so that'd be good.
Yeah.
But other than that, be an interesting direct. I feel like that's going to be an interesting one because it's rare that people
I'm
don't
more
have
curious than anything.
because people because you
I'm not expecting
because
a
you
lot.
can't have
Yeah.
expectations. You can't. It's
Yeah.
it's because here's the thing: the direct after this is going to be hell on earth because everybody's going to be like, they're going to announce
Where's Zelda?
something
Where's
for
Smash
Switch
Brothers?
2. Yeah, they're going to announce something.
Oh man, we get to finally bust out the tweets that say, "That's it, no Smash Bros again." Hell yes!
I missed him at.
Oh, I can't wait to do that again.
I can't wait for everyone to be like Mario Kart. Where's Mario Kart? Where's Mario Kart? Where's Mario Kart? That's all it's
Mario
gonna
Kart
be.
8 again, except they turned the 8 sideways, and now it's just called Mario Kart Infinity. But it's still the same game.
They ported
The
it for the
endless
third
now.
time. That's the
Yeah.
That's the only way that Nintendo could be on Sony and Microsoft's level at the moment, is if they were then to go, Nintendo Switch 2, it's just Nintendo Switch 1 again, and every game just gets a deluxe version, and you walk away, and it's like, job done, guys, see you in 8 years. Like, that's it. And even then, I'd be like, still a better decision than Sony or Microsoft currently. I feel like that's a better game plan than literally nuking beloved studios and shooting Helldivers in the foot for no reason.
Yeah.
They've got to make room for Concord, guys. They've got to make room for Concord, the next big game.
You can't have the more expensive one's oxygen being taken up by the better one.
Oh dear. Anyway, I say we wrap it up. I feel like we've talked enough today. I feel like we've got...
Yeah.
Anyone else got anything burning that they want to get off their chest before we're back next week to talk about some other random topic? No?
No, I don't think I've got it.
No words of wisdom? No, nothing? Wow. There you go.
Nah.
That's it then, I guess. Like I say, next week, who knows? We're still in gaming limbo for at least a little bit.
Yeah.
Till the end of the month.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's the end of the month? Hellblade, isn't it? Oh, that game that's not been advertised that I keep forgetting exists.
Well, and Paper Mario.
Oh, and that
Paper
too.
Mario.
That also
That game that is
exists.
starting to be advertised.
It's my phone has been harassing me every time I click on YouTube about Paper Mario. For some reason, I only ever get Nintendo ads when I'm using YouTube on my phone.
Weird.
It's usually really consistent too.
You know?
It's never. It's always like.
That's it. I've just realised that's probably why I don't. I have YouTube. I've had YouTube Premium out for the past 8 months, so I don't get YouTube ads anymore. And I used to get a load of Nintendo ads, so that's probably why I.
Yeah, they
it's
used to
not been
always
advertised
happen,
to
even
me.
with games that shocked me when it would. Like another code was popping up
Really?
on my phone, and I was like,
You got jump scared by that?
I was
feel like
I'm-
another code seems like
I'm
they get-
sitting
yeah.
here like.
Another Code seems like a game that
figured you
Nintendo
would've left this
UK
to
would
the
advertise,
flyers.
not Nintendo
Yeah.
America. That feels like a Nintendo UK game. It's like,
But no, and it's happened other times too.
That's
I think
crazy.
Like
I'll tell you,
other examples
the
are
only-
escaping
yeah.
me right now, but
the only place I get ads at the moment is Twitter, which I always get. I don't know if you guys get it, but I get these ads from Japan. There's this mascot called Cheetan who, like,
Yeah.
John Oliver did a video on it, and
Yep.
and their social media
seen that.
pays for ad spaces of their stupid mascot doing stupid things. So like, I'll just see it's like, "Hi, my name's Cheetan, and I like doing stupid things," and I just like see him
And
jet
I'm a
skiing.
professional
yeah.
wrestler.
Yeah, and I see him like driving a
sick.
race car, or like they're just doing it, not advertising anything, just like, look at my cool moves as he's on a skateboard. I'm like, hell yeah, this is sick. They're the only ads I get on Twitter now because I blocked all this fucking AI spam ones, and I'm like, this
Yeah,
is
pretty
great.
much.
I love these. Every time I see them, I'm like, oh, I love you. Thank you, Cheetah. Stop giving Elon
It's
Musk
like,
money, but I appreciate seeing this
yeah.
stupid shit in my feed. It's good stuff.
oh man,
But no, maybe that's why I don't know what Hellblade is. Maybe they've put all their ads on YouTube, guys. Maybe that's it. Only kidding. They wouldn't
No,
do
they
that.
haven't put
They're
it there
sending it
either.
out
Like,
to die.
yeah.
I don't know. I use AdBlock.
Well, yeah, I only get them on my phone because I don't have an ad blocker on my phone.
Dude, I'm telling you, because I watch, like, most of my YouTube I watch on my phone and on TV. And this is not an advertisement for YouTube Premium, but, like, I feel like when you hear cultish behavior, people going like, once you buy YouTube Premium, you can't unsub. Like, that's it, you're locked in, because you just, like, you're just so used to it. I'm like, yeah, YouTube is so much better without ads. Who would have thought it, guys? Like, yeah, it's great when you're on your PC because you can use an ad blocker or whatever, but when you're on your TV, when you want to watch something on your TV or on your phone, and you just get 60 fucking million ads when you just want to watch something before bed, it's like, oh,
Yep.
so much better. Highly recommend it. If you're a YouTube sleeper, dude, highly recommend it. It's great stuff. I'd also recommend cancelling every other subscription service, though, because that's what I would do. Like, I would not pay for anything but YouTube Premium. Because I'm a little YouTube goblin, dude. I just watch so much YouTube. It's unreal. Anyway, let's wrap it up. Next week, we'll talk about something. Who knows? Maybe we'll have played Animal Well. Maybe we'll have played something else. Maybe Ethan will finally be done with the PS3. You can only hope and dream. We're going to sacrifice the PS3 live on podcast, guys. That's what we're going to do. No.
That's how the show ends.
Sacrifice.
Forever.
Oh,
Killing
God.
the PS3.
No.
The ghost of the PS3 just cancels our show.
Just haunts us for the rest of the time. That'd be crazy.
I'll
Anyway.
be over here like, hey, leave me alone. I've got mine still. It's right over there.
Wow.
I'm like,
So
I
bright.
never owned one.
Sorry, guys. Got flashbanged by fucking thingy again. Fucking Phil Spencer.
no.
Oh, fuck. Right, anyway.
Big PlayStation's after him.
That's what I get for having this new monitor, dude. That's big as fuck. Like, it just blinds me every time I use it. But it's all good. Links are on screen right now, by the way. There you go. Oh, Hunter, you made it vanish. You just made them fucking
Oh,
disappear.
good job.
You know what?
Little magician
Still
action
works.
right there. Anyway, next week, more random stuff. But until then, have an awesome rest of your week. And yeah, we'll see you next time, I guess. Bye.
See ya.
Toodaloo.